to make a Windows PE for Windows 10 bootable USB drive that you can also back up your system to that same USB drive, provided that you have enough space. There's going to be two partitions. One partition on that drive is going to store the Windows PE environment, and the other partition is going to be an NTFS that can actually store your image that you're going to make off of the system that you're going to image from. Let's get started. So first, what I want you to do is open up any web browser, and usually we use Google nowadays, so I'm going to Google Windows ADK. First link that comes up is a Microsoft link. Download and install the ADK. That's one you usually should use. Use a Microsoft because this tool is provided by Microsoft. Okay, these are the tools you need to use in order to build your PE environment. One of them is the ADK, and one of them is the add-on for the ADK. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the version that's appropriate to the version of Windows 10 that's installed on your computer. In this case, I have 21H1 installed on the computer. And the most appropriate version that they have there is, as you can see, this version of ADK, version 2004. I'm going to download that, and then I'm also going to download the add-in. I need the actual PE environment also for this. So I'm going to download the PE environment. Okay. Once they're downloaded, basically I can exit the browser, open up my downloads directory, and I'll find the downloads. The first download that I want to actually install is the ADK setup. I run that as administrator. Okay. I'll select next, accept. Whoever reads those things anyway, right? So we'll uncheck the things that we don't need for this deployment. But although you can install whatever you want, but what we need really for this to work, this project, is deployment tools. We're going to click install. This might take a few minutes to actually install this. So maybe grab a soda or whatever drink you want, and then come back to it. As you can see, it's already installed, but the actual PE environment, which we can install next, that takes a bit longer. So that one, you might want to walk away or something like that. Come right back, and after it's installed. Okay, we're going to click next on that. Next. As you can see, there's only one option on this because it was just one package. And I guess the reason why they put it in separate packages is because you note the size on it. See that's 5.5 gigabytes download. So it takes a little while longer to download especially if you're on a slow connection. I'm going to install again. This one we could basically walk away and come back a little while later, and it'll get installed. So again, we're making a bootable USB drive that we can also record the images onto of what we're imaging. I have a laptop that I'm going to, a new laptop that I'm going to image. and the images will be saved onto the USB as well, provided that I have enough space. If it's a new laptop, usually, it usually doesn't include much data at all. All of it's just basic programs, so it should fit on most USB drives. But the important thing here to note, which I'm going to show you, is that you can't just make a one partition the standard Windows PE environment on a USB, because the file system doesn't support the image size that you'll probably wind up making. It's gonna just crash on it. So that's why we're making another partition, bigger partition, that can actually uses another type of file system that will support larger images. So we're going to close. Okay. Now the next item up for bids is we're going to basically copy the PE environment into a temporary directory on the hard drive so that we can work on it. Okay. So what we're going to do is you can either use the start menu, or you can use your search on the computer to basically find. This is what you're going to find here: deployment and imaging tools environment. That's what you want. So I'm going to type in deploy. I'm going to start typing deploy, and you'll notice that comes up. You're going to right click on it and make sure you run it as administrator. Very important. If you run this as a normal user, well, even like as if you're running logged in as administrator, it may not invoke it as administrator, the commands. So what we're going to do here is we're going to copy PE AMD, AMD 64 to C:// win PE underscore AMD 64. I mean, you can name the directory anything you want. The important thing to note is for this exercise, I'm just naming it that so you can follow through where in the commands this directory is used. And so it's going to create that directory and copy the Windows PE environment, WIMs, etc., into that directory. So I'm going to push enter. It's already copied. Okay. So the next thing we're going to want to do is probably mount the WIM. Mounting the WIM, Windows PE WIM, lets us manipulate it. So we can add drivers if we wanted to. Say if we wanted to back up to a network, there's a way to do that. I'll include some links in the video on how to do that. Also, it allows you to edit some of the startup files, etc. Add other drivers. There's all sorts of things you could do to customize this. We don't really have to customize a lot, except one thing I thought we should customize is the power management to make it so that when it runs on the computer, it doesn't lag. Make sure you are using high performance environment. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use this command, Dism, mount, and you can usually type a tab. Actually, you can't. Image. Okay. ImageFile. And then colon in there, and then actual image file name, path, and name. So in this case, it's going to be C colon slash win PE underscore. Now if we type the tab, we might get an autocomplete. There we go. We have autocomplete. You can use the type tab to autocomplete directories. Media, so media. And then sources. See, I'm tabbing and I'm completing the directory. boot.wim. Makes it so much easier when you can use tab on these things. And then here, index, and we want index 1. That just points to, you can have many partitions or images inside of a WIM that you can actually point to. So that's specifying the first one. And then mount directory C colon win PE AMD, right? And then we just name that one mount. Okay. And then we push enter. It's loading the image into that mount directory. Great. So now it's ready for us to manipulate it. So what I'm going to do is going to type in notepad C colon win. So we can use the tab to make that a lot easier. Mount, right? So mounted in that directory. Windows, system 32. And the file is it starts with startnet commands. That's basically, it's almost like a batch file that starts up when the Windows PE environment starts up. That's what that is. So here we'll have enter. You notice it only has one command in it. We're going to add another command. In this case, we're going to go powercfg, C 5E 7 F D A, okay, E 8 BF 4 A 96 9A 85 A 6 E 23 A 8 C 6 3 5 C. Okay. Enter. Yeah. And so we're going to save that file. Okay. This basically tells the computer to use more of like a high performance profile for the power management when it loads up the Windows PE. Okay, stop that. And then, so now that's done, we can we should unmount the mounted WIM image and commit the changes. So we're going to go Dism, unmount image, mount mount directory, like that, colon. And then you put the mount directory. So in this case, C colon slash win pe. Okay, found that directory. Great. And then mount. The same directory used to mount. Okay. So then we commit and see saving changes and unmounting the WIM. So that's modified now. Okay, next we're going to actually um, format and prepare the USB with those two partitions. Okay, so what we can do is use a command called this part. Okay. Okay. So now, as you can see, my USB, I already placed the USB drive in, and it's D. The letter is D. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go list disk, and we're going to find that the actual disk is disk 7. So I'm going to go select disk 7. Okay. And then we're going to clean it. Okay. That basically wipes everything clean. So be careful with that command. And then we're going to create partition primary. Size equals 2048. That's like two gigabytes. So like that. Okay. Active. Mark it as active. So it's bootable. And then format file system equals FAT32 quick, and then label equals win PE. Okay. That's for the PE files. That's for the actual environment, the bootable environment. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to assign it a drive letter so that you can copy files to it, the Windows PE files. So I'm going to go assign letter equals P. Okay. And then you're going to create another partition. Okay. Create partition primary. Okay. And then you're going to format that one. FS equals NTFS quick label equals images. See where I'm going with this? And that uses the remaining space basically. So I didn't have to, say I wanted 113 gigabytes or whatever. That just partitioned the remaining space on the USB drive. And now I'm going to assign letter equals I. Now this is optional. I mean, if you had an image already made, you can just copy it to I. This is optional, but I'm just going to assign it anyway just to show you. Okay. And then we go to exit. And we're done. We're not actually finished. I neglected to actually copy the Windows PE files to the drive. We've only basically partitioned the drive. So we're going to copy the files from the Windows PE directory that we have on the hard drive to the P drive that was mounted during the partitioning process. So the way you do that is we're going to use xcopy. So there's no need to go into the deployment environment. You can actually just run a command prompt as administrator, like so. And then you can actually type in xcopy. And the name of the directory we're going to copy is c:\win. You can use the tab key to find the actual directory if you wanted to, or type it out, whatever you wanted to do, but I like to use the tab key. And then slash media, okay. And then we have to put the destination as p:// and then /s and enter. It's going to take a little while, depending upon the speed of your USB and number of files, but it shouldn't take too long. On I think a USB 3, it should maybe take like a minute or two to do that. So we'll see it completed shortly. When it's done, you can just eject the disk, close the command prompt, eject the disk, and you're good to go with the USB drive created. You just pop it in your laptop or source computer, and you'll use a Dism command, which I'll supply as well in the video comments, to actually take the partition information, whatever you would have on there, to actually make a WIM out of it and put it onto the other partition, the NTFS partition. We'll do that in another video as well. Okay. Thank you very much and have a nice day.